The exhibition was slightly cheekily called the New Stone Age. It could have easily been called Stone Renaissance. It's essentially about relearning the structural properties, sustainable properties of stone.
As a stonemason and having worked stone for the last 30 years, I think as a structural material, as a load-bearing material, with new technology, new software, new improvement in quarrying, we can only build better with that incredible versatile material.
So here at the Building Centre, we're really interested in the role of materials. With the climate crisis, it's really important that we think about what materials are doing to the planet.
Think about stone. It's highly likely that stone will achieve the same structural solution, probably cheaper, certainly architecturally more interesting, and certainly a great reduction in your embodied carbon. So if you're very careful, on one building we managed to save around about 90% of the embodied carbon on the superstructure of the building, because we simply took the extracted stone straight from the quarry and used it as a superstructure.
So we're adapting the concrete code to apply to stone, and we're using first principles quite extensively, or we're going back to first principles to design it. So for us that makes it quite interesting, and it's quite liberating because you're just dealing with physical problems rather than interpreting other people's regulations. I think people don't consider it an option. They don't feel empowered with the possibility to build things with it. Showing what can be done today and what has been done by a lot of the other architects and designers, engineers that are exhibited in the exhibition, that there are precedents and that there are other possibilities.
I think the New Stone Age represents something that we've known as humanity building for the last many decades, for the last hundreds and thousands of years, coming back to a material that we realize now is the true sustainable material that should be back on the table for construction. It feels like the construction industry is waking up, shaking off a hangover after decades of binging on energy and chemicals, and coming back to the basics, coming back to those materials which we know are better for the earth. We know that they have great mechanical properties for building itself, not just for the aesthetic skin on buildings, but as the actual structure in the buildings themselves. And here we have tremendous gains on the environmental side. We know that stone has an incredibly low CO2 use just in the extraction and the fabrication. We know that it has very low CO2 footprint in terms of its operational costs, the heating and cooling of buildings that are built in stone. And we see not only where we come from, but where the future is going with the stone, with a new modern interpretation, with new engineering, and we can see what we can do with stone now.